Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do I have your consent? This is an interview on the 2020 pandemic coronavirus, and I would like to interview you both.
Yes.
Yes.
How you doing? So the question is, were you guys affected by the coronavirus?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about your experience?
So I'll begin by saying that at first we didn't know we were infected with the coronavirus. Ralph came home with feeling really bad. And he had went to the hospital, and this was the first time he went to the hospital.
Listen.
And he was diagnosed with walking pneumonia. Well, they gave him like a Z-pack, the 5-pack like antibiotics. He was in the bed for about 7 days. Shortly afterwards, I caught walking pneumonia myself. Okay, so he felt a little better, and then I want to say 10 days after being diagnosed with walking pneumonia, then Ralph started feeling bad again. So then he went back to the hospital, and they took an X-ray of his lungs, and they said, "Oh, well, we still see a little infection from when you had the pneumonia. Just go home and rest." Okay. Then the third time he went back, still wasn't getting better. He went back a third time, and at that time, when he told them that he was diagnosed with walking pneumonia, that's when they gave him the COVID-19 testing. And shortly after that, they told us to wait for 3 days. They put me on quarantine as well with him. So we waited for 3 days for the test to come back. By the 4th day, they still hadn't called us. So we had a follow-up appointment at the doctor's office, at our primary care doctor's office. And Ralph didn't want to go. And I was like, "No, you're breathing too hard. Your breathing was really hard last night. You were breathing like you couldn't catch your breath." And then I noticed that his lips were blue. I was like, "No, you're getting up. We're going right now. We're getting right now." And he was very weak. And that's when he said, "I don't think I can make it." So I was like, "No, we have to go. You have to go. You're not getting better." And I mean, I bought everything that you can think of to try to stop the fever. The fever would come. It would break, and then it would come back. But then when it come back, it'd be even higher. And this went on for like 3 days. And I was like, something's not right. And then I got him dressed. And as we were leaving out, that's when he fell out. He fell off that day. He was like, "I can't make it. Call the ambulance. I can't make it." And we was actually getting off the elevator, and he slid down in the lobby in front of the elevator. He just couldn't move.
So let me ask you, how were your symptoms?
My symptoms were, I was getting a lot of body aches. I got a lot of body aches. I couldn't smell. Felt like I just couldn't, like nothing. I couldn't smell anything. I still had tasted, but it tasted funny. Food tasted funny to me. And even though I wasn't, later on, as we go on, I will tell you how he got so bad that he went to the hospital. And we was in there for a while, for a couple of hours. And I was telling the hospital, "Listen, call Woman Hospital, St. Luke's Hospital, because he took the coronavirus test, and we're still waiting for the results." But it wasn't until after they took the X-ray. And that's when they said, "Oh, we're keeping him because there's something wrong. There's a spot. We see something on his lungs." And I think we were in there. I was there with him from 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 9 o'clock in the evening. And about 11:30, 12 o'clock, the doctor called me and I didn't say this, it was Bronx, Lebanon, and called me and said, "Miss Lewis, I need the information do you have his case record on his paperwork?" And I said, "Yes." And I gave it to him. I gave her some, a little briefing of what was going on with him, what happened. And so she said, "Okay, well, we'll call you back." By 3 o'clock in the morning, that's when Ralph called me and said, "Ma, I'm tested positive for the coronavirus." And then, well, he was there.
Well, yeah. So you never was admitted in the hospital, right?
No, I wasn't, but I was put on bed rest from March 13th to April the 8th because although I was not put in a hospital, they said I had what was called symptomatic symptoms, asymptomatic symptoms. And that really consists of because I had a lot of body aches, I had a fever, I couldn't smell, my chest didn't hurt bad, but it was in my back right here. I just felt like my back just felt like there was something in it, like I had a knot in my back. And then the doctor just would do telehealth with me once a week, and she sent me over a 7-day supply of antibiotics. I drank a lot of tea. There was this remedy that everybody was saying where you put the lemons, the lime, the oranges, the onions, garlic, and honey. And I boiled it, and instead of just leaving it and inhaling it, I was drinking it. And I started to feel a little better. But it seems like once I got better, it just kept coming back. It kept coming back.
What do you mean it kept coming back?
I kept getting symptoms. Like I would be good for 2 days without no fever. And then if I got up and I did something around the house or if I decided to go outside to go to the store, the next day I would be bedridden. I couldn't even move. I would be so, my body was hurting so it started to hurt, and then I would get a fever. So that was the reason why I was put on quarantine. I couldn't even go back to work.
How long did the symptoms last?
The symptoms lasted from March 13th to about, I want to say April the 6th.
So how do you feel right now?
I still feel weak from time to time. Like I can sleep all day, but it's like I don't get enough. Like my body is still kind of recovering from it.
Right. How is your sleeping pattern right now?
Like I said, I can sleep all day and still get up and be tired.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you.